Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps lots. And also keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are after market close on Thursday, April 14th. We're going to take a look at SoFi. So since we're on a short week, this is the end of the week video for SoFi. SoFi putting in another pretty big red day today, down over 4.5%. Yesterday, we were up almost 1.75%, but the day before that, down over 3, down over 1.9, down over 3. So like a really red week again, as you can see. At this point, I mean, we're so doggone far away from even this downtrend resistance. It's quite crazy. But in any case, we sort of put that 738, is that what it is, to the test that I had put in, and I think it held up decently well. I think there's sort of more to be seen, but I think if we go to the 10-minute, we can kind of see when it had this big sell-off today at open, right, it dropped like over 2.5% immediately. It starts wicking just a smidge above, like at 240. Okay, it looks further away, but that's just a penny away from the 739 level is actually what it is. And then we see, before it starts trailing away for the day, we see it tries hard and hard and hard, like these are 10-minute candles. So this is for quite some time. It tries hard to hold that 740 level. And then on this big red candle here, where it drops almost 1%, that's when it flips it to resistance. And then it starts moving away for the day. So I'm kind of confident in that level, although that wasn't like the low of the day or anything. But that's where the battle begun almost immediately, right? On the close of the 950 candle time frame. Yeah, so at 9:30 close, we were way up here, and then the market opened, 9:40 close. So just 20 minutes into the market, we started being within a penny of this level. So I'm feeling pretty confident that level. Didn't play as big of a factor here, but I mean, on this day, it was relatively holding above it, right? That's where the bodies of these candles obviously sold off and then regrouped through, and then they just sort of established themselves on the way up for the day. We do see this 777 level holding up quite well in the after hours. If this is, well, I guess this is very, very early morning pre-market, 4:10 in the morning. 775 topping out there, obviously not getting anywhere close to that the rest of the day. But, I'm going to keep that 739 at the moment. We'll keep an eye on 722, but I mean, my wonder is just sort of like in the vast scheme of things, I'm not quite ready to put a level down yet. Or I mean, we wouldn't have a level at 739 and then at like 722 or 724 or whatever. We just move that level down. But I kind of want to see, because it wicked off of that level yesterday. And then today, it's closing below with like a big engulfing candle, or yeah, I guess it must be an engulfing candle here today. And so to me, it feels at the moment that it's wrestling with that 739, making some higher levels, making some lower levels, but it's just, crisscrossing its way above and below that level. So I'm interested to see sort of like what it does there. And if it establishes like a clear level that's different than that, I'm not wanting to be super artificially tied to 739, but we'll keep it there for now. And sort of like see how it acts as we get into next week. And I mean, other than that, so it's just like, I'm not 100% sure, what else to really say. I mean, at this point, we could go back to this. We're caught well underneath this downtrend resistance. I mean, we're probably about as far as we were almost at this point, these lows here, when these were the lows in the low 8s, distance wise from the downtrend resistance. I mean, we're just so far from that at this point. is sort of like very clearly putting in a channel here, I guess, is the other thing to kind of, take a look at. We pop this like here, right? It's like pretty clearly putting in a channel here. And so, I mean, at this point, if that channel holds true, it's got, I mean, the bottom of this channel would be like 6. I obviously hope that that's not the case, but it's been it's been what the chart tells the story of. It has been this, and so I don't know where the bottom is. I don't know where the floor is. I don't know, exactly what to expect from this market. I did a video a few days ago on the overall market, and is like the next crash or the actual crash, or however you want to think of it, looming. There's a bunch of things that just aren't looking great to me. In terms of like, larger ETFs. These are the 4 that I put in that video: SPY, QQQ, IWM, UVXY. That to me, even though it's a couple days ago, still holding pretty true. And obviously SoFi, much of its struggle stems from the struggle of the overall market. So kind of back to where we've been for quite some time now, where I've been saying like, it's just getting dragged around with all of the market, but also all of the other growth stocks, and I guess still relatively recently de-SPACed. I don't know how long you can kind of carry that moniker for, but there's a lot of these names just getting dragged through the mud, along with the overall market just kind of getting dragged through the mud, or having a hard time having a substantive recovery, especially anything that's not sort of like a major market cap, right? So we'll see if there's any shift in sight, or if anything starts to change course. But in the vast scheme of things, I think charts overall aren't looking super great to me. And I had said a few months ago, we were talking about inflation concerns. We were talking about concerns specific to SoFi, which are centered around the student loan situation, and then the, I guess, quantitative tightening, not easing, but the Fed wanting to reduce its balance sheet. I had said at that time that I thought that tapering would be sort of the actual like big thing to watch for, because that I fear that that's going to suck a bunch of liquidity that was propping things up out of the markets. And whether you want to think that, whenever things are sort of like bubbly or propped up or frothy, or whatever term you want to use, obviously some things are overvalued, and that's accurate. Some things are overvalued, and that's maybe more accurate. Because but you don't know, right? Everything is hindsight. Everything is like, oh well, during the dot-com bubble, Microsoft wasn't actually overvalued, right? Even if it got hammered, like, it wasn't actually overvalued in the long run. But that's, look, you gotta wait 20 years and then look back and go, okay, what was actually like true at that time, and what was actually just sort of a symptom of the moment that it was born into. So we always get to the soapboxy portions of these videos, and I just have my internal voice saying, end it, Dan, end it. So that's all that I'll say. I think that the actual tapering happens, if I'm understanding things correctly, and I've been a little bit out of the loop news cycle wise, but I believe in May. Please just put a correction in the comments below if you have a better source, and stick a source there. Don't just say, no, it's happening in this month, whatever else, other month, dummy. Don't just say that. Say, here's an article, or here's something that says like exactly when the Fed is planning to reduce their balance sheet. But I thought the last night I heard that it was May, but again, that could be outdated. I could be totally misremembering that. And so I do worry that the 726 might get put under additional pressure, because there might be just in the macro sense, the vacuum might be kind of strong as the Fed is pulling a bunch of liquidity. I don't know. or putting much of selling pressure on the market. I guess we could put it that way. But we'll just have to see. But it's something I think to strongly look out for, because that was, to me, that was always the big one that I was worried about, was not so much inflation and things like that. It was more so that the Fed was going to start reducing the balance sheets. And I don't even say that it worries me because I think it's a bad thing. That's not necessarily the case. It's more so just that, I worry about that selling pressure getting pushed into the market on a pretty big, in a pretty big way. All right, folks. Can you tell we all need a long weekend here? So I hope that your trading week went well on things that you were trading other than SoFi, unless you're short SoFi. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.